Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 23, exercise 23d, further simplifying. This is my second video for this exercise. So as you know that we were using this GCF method or the AC method or this formula to factorize the numerator and the denominator, and then we were simplifying the fractions after factorization. Okay, now we will have cases like this in these questions. For example, if I ask you this question that a minus b and b minus a, are they same? So they are not same. Why? Because if I look at a minus b, a is positive here and b is negative. But when I look at b minus a, b has become positive and a has become negative. It means they have their signs have been flipped, or you can say their signs have become opposite. So remember, when we will, for example, if I have in the numerator a minus b and in the denominator I have b minus a, if they are not same, so obviously I cannot cancel them, right? As I said, a minus b and b minus a, they are not the same. So if some of the girls, they make this mistake that they start cancelling this one and this one, they think that these two factors are same, but we can make them same. How? Look at this. If I pull out -1 from the numerator, if you remember in one of the exercise, one x squared term was negative, like using the AC method. So we were pulling out this -1 outside, and what was happening to the terms that were left inside, all of their signs were getting changed. Okay, so it means that if I pull out -1 from this a minus b outside, this b, it will become positive and this a will become negative, means they will have opposite signs. So a will be negative a and negative b will become positive b. And how can you rewrite it? Because b is positive, so I can write it in the beginning, and a is negative, so I can write it next to it. So this shows that this a minus b can be replaced by what? By -1. I'll write it on the next line. The numerator can be replaced by pulling out -1 outside, and you can flip their places. You can make it opposite. So it's b minus a over b minus a. Now because this b minus a and this b minus a are exactly the same, so you can cancel them. So this is like we are going to face such cases in the questions, these questions, the one that I'm going to solve from this exercise. Let's start with question number 4. So clearly you can see we have in the numerator 2 minus x. I cannot use, there is no GCF that I can pull out. I cannot use the AC method. I cannot use the formula. So it means it's not possible to factorize the numerator. But what about the denominator? Let's see it. How can we factorize it? So it's x squared minus 4x. Please remember, for these questions you need a rough work beside the question. So we will solve it over here. Now I can use the AC method by putting 1 over here. It will be positive 4. And what are the factors that the pair of factors? So 1 times 4, I don't need it, because if I add it, it gives me 5. 2 times 2, I need it, because if I add it, it is giving me this middle term, that is 4, right? So I got this pair of factors. Now how I will write my answer? X and 2 and x and 2. Then I have to decide which signs will go with this 2 and this 2. The middle sign, it goes here. And then what about the other one? Because both of them are equal and I have to put the same sign, so both of them will be negative. Now what can I do? In this fraction, the numerator, I cannot factorize it more, but I can put it in a bracket like this. And what about the denominator? The denominator has this answer. So it means the denominator can be replaced by x minus 2 into x minus 2. Now some of the girls, as I told you, they think that 2 minus x and x minus 2, they can cancel it. No way. They are not equal to each other, because they are opposite of each other. This one is 2 positive and here 2 negative. Here x negative and here x positive. So how can we make this factor look like this one? I can pull out -1 from here. So if I will put -1 outside, what will happen? Either you can say they will flip their places, like x will come to the place of 2 and 2 will go to the place of x. Or you can think it in this way, that 2 will become negative and x will become positive. They will change their signs. And if they change their signs, because this one is positive, you can write it in the beginning and this one will be -2. This is your first question. That's why I'm explaining it in detail. But in the next questions, I want you to do it directly, because right now try to understand everything. So whenever you pull out -1 from any, you can say any expression, you want to pull out -1 from it as a GCF, what happens? They change their sign. So usually we write the positive in the beginning, and because 2 will be negative, so we will write it next to it. Or you can say they will flip their places, right? Okay, now what do we have in the denominator? X minus 2, and we have another x minus 2. Now this can be cancelled. This whole factor can be cancelled with this one. So our final answer will be -1 over x minus 2. So this is the final answer. Clear? Okay, one more thing. Usually we try to pull out this negative sign, -1, outside from the numerator, and we try to keep it in the numerator. But in some cases you will see that it will be in the denominator, but whenever there will be a case like that, I'll explain it to you. Okay, how can we factorize the numerator? First of all, this is the question. Okay, remember, actually we have two questions in this one question. This is the numerator and this is the denominator. It means I have to factorize the numerator a squared minus b squared. Now if you remember, what is the formula? The formula says a squared minus b squared equals a minus b, a plus b. So directly I can write the answer. What is the answer for this one? Directly I know it will be either a plus b into a minus b, right? So this will be the factorization for the numerator. Now let's see how can we factorize the denominator, the second question. So it says b squared minus 2ab plus a squared. Okay, this type of questions you haven't done before. But remember, we can use the AC method here. We have 1 over here and we have 1 over here. So multiply 1 with the 1, it will become +1. And 1 times 1 will give us 1. And if I add it, it is giving me 2, this middle term. So it means this is the pair of the factor that I need. How I will write my final answer? Look at this. When it's x over here, we write x here, right? But right now it's b. So what will you write over here? B. Okay. Then 1. But it's going to be 1a. Why? Because before the question that you used to solve, there was no letter over here. So we were writing only the number. Right now it's a letter. So 1a, it means actually it's a. Right? Okay, the other bracket will be again b. And this one will be 1a, 1a, that is a. So we will write it as a only. Now which signs will go? Negative sign here, the middle one, and here again the same sign because it's positive. So this is the final answer for this one. Now let's replace the numerator has been factorized as a plus b into a minus b, or better I will write a minus b first and then I will write a plus b. I'll tell you why. Okay, then in the denominator I have b minus a into b minus a. What can we cancel now? If I'm thinking about cancelling a minus b with b minus a, it's not possible. I have to pull out the negative ones outside. So I will pull out -1 outside. They will flip their places. So it will become b minus a. Means they will become opposite. This one will be opposite to this one. Okay, then we will have a plus b next to it. And in the denominator, we have two factors. B minus a into b minus a. What can we cancel now? This whole factor can be cancelled with this one. So finally our answer is -1 into a plus b. This is the numerator, or simply you can write -1 here like this. Okay, it's the same thing. And in the denominator we are left with b minus a. So this is the final answer for this question. Hope you understand it. Okay. Now better pause the video here and solve this question on your own and then play the video to check your answer. So here is the answer. It's not possible to simplify the numerator, so I left it as it is, and then the denominator I use the formula. This is 1 squared and this is a squared, so you can write 1 minus a and 1 plus a. Then I replace the denominator by its factors, the numerator as it's already a minus 1 the factor. Now because here I could see that this is a minus 1 and this is 1 minus a, they are opposite of each other. So you can pull out negative 1 from the numerator. So it will become 1 minus a, and then the rest of the steps are exactly the same like we were doing before. Let's solve one more question now here. As you can see, when I look at the numerator, it's already in the standard form, 2x squared plus 3x minus 35, but the denominator, it's not written in the standard form. So better first of all write it in the standard form. So it's 3x minus 35, or you can do all this in the in your rough work here, the working area, right? So this is number 1. So let's factorize number 1. Okay, better pause the video here, factorize number 1 and number 2, and then play the video to see how can we do the next steps. So here is the answer for this question. As you can clearly see, I factorized it. I factorized the numerator here because 35 times 2 was 70. So I got the pair of factors. 10 times 7 is 70. And if I subtract it, I'm getting the middle term 3. But remember, some of the girls, they leave the factors like this. It's not possible. If it is possible to simplify any of the factors, you have to simplify it. Because if you multiply this 2x with this 2x, it will give you 4x squared, not 2x squared. So it's very important to simplify. Sometimes we simplify only one bracket because it's possible only to simplify one. And sometimes it's possible to simplify both brackets. So you have to simplify in that case both of them. Right now I have to simplify only this one. So clearly you can see that this 2 and this 2, they will cancel each other and only x will be left here, and 10 divided by 2 will give you 5, so you will have 5 over here. So this is the final answer for the numerator. I wrote it here in the numerator. Then when I look at the denominator, first thing, it's not arranged, like it's not in the standard form, so I changed it into standard form like this. Then there's a negative sign with the x squared term, so I pulled out the negative sign as a GCF. Then all the signs, they will change. This negative 2x squared will become positive, this negative 5x will become negative, this positive will become negative. So it means all the signs have become the opposite. Then I multiplied this 2 with this 7, it's negative 14. I factorized it. This bracket was possible to simplify, so I simplified it, and this is the final answer. When I brought my answer here, I can clearly see that 2x minus 7 and 2x minus 7, they can be cancelled with each other. So I cancelled them. In the numerator, only x plus 5 is left, and in the denominator, we are left with negative 1 and x plus 1. That's all for this video. Hope you understand it.